Hi, it's Dave Crane. It's such a hot day today. I thought I'd come back just to tell you a few things, because I've had a number of conversations. I actually come back to feed the dog at the same time. I had a number of conversations with people recently, talk about age and talk about how old we are and how that's, we've only got a few years left, so make the most of them and all the rest of it. And I think there's a lot of value in that, but I've got to say, I'm sick to death of hearing about it. I'll tell you exactly why. I don't know if you know how old I am. Various people who are friends on Facebook will know how old I am. My wife probably knows how old I am, because strangely enough, her birthday is 3 days 3 days before mine. So I can always tell what present she's got me as to what I'm going to get her. I don't tell her I told her that. Hello, Aziza, how are you? And what I wanted to talk about is the fact that so many people think, when it comes down to age, that we're all going to live to about the age of 50, 60. And that's it, game over. Well, I'm here to spoil that for you, because I don't think that's the case at all. I think the truth is that you will live to whatever age you decide you're going to be. In fact, the scientists are saying, I shouldn't say the scientists, it's like saying these faceless boffins from miles away are saying the truth is we'll probably live until we get sick of being alive. 100 years old, 120 years old. We're talking about the ability to have 3D printers print out parts of the body that we need. New bones, new skin, new muscles, new tissues. Forget about things like hip replacements. We can already do that right now. So what I want to do is share with you a couple of things I thought about this morning. You know, when you're feeling old, you're thinking, oh dear, there's a younger generation, they're going to be able to do it much better than me. I'm going to share with you a couple of ideas, a couple of stars who only made it when they're about, in their late 40s, in fact, in many cases, early 50s. Now you're thinking, hold on, what do you mean by that? There can't be anybody like that. You'd be very surprised some of the big stars actually make it a much later date in their life. Before I mention who they are, think about it. You're actually at your biggest hitting age, around about the age of 40, 45, up to about the age of 60. You've had all the experience, you've done it, you've got the t-shirt, you've earned the accolades, you've got a reputation for being fantastic at what you do, and also you're young enough to hold off all the young pretenders who will go along and try and grab your throne and say, I'm as good as that guy, I can do it cheaper. Some people want quality, they want it better. Up until the age of 60, 65, you're still at the top of your game. Now the odds are you'll probably live to about 120. That's what we're predicting, just purely because we're able to reinvent ourselves and replace bits, and science is going to the point where at some point cancer will be removed. Remember when everyone was scared of AIDS? And now HIV isn't as bad as before. You can take treatment and medicine and sort it all out, or at least delay the problems that it creates. It's amazing, isn't it? So by the time you and I get to that old age where we're thinking, oh my goodness, everything's gone grey, you might well still have massive opportunities. But what I want to do is share with you 10 people, or at least a fair few of them, who I think have got better with age, and prove to you that it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still create your super success after the age of 40. Let's start with this guy. Can you see this properly? Samuel L. Jackson, very as Nick Fury, the godfather of all the Marvel superheroes. Samuel L. Jackson made it his first big screen debut. I'm not talking about Jungle Fever, or you might recognize him being in there. It was never a massive film. His breakthrough role came in Pulp Fiction, playing Julius. Remember that wonderful saying that he said? And the character was nominated for an Oscar, or at least he should have been. And he was 43. 43 when that happened. Let's take another star. So that's Samuel L. Jackson, one of my favourite all-time actors. And alright, you might say he's not the best actor, but he's certainly the coolest of a lot. Recognize this lady? Who's that? Martha Stewart. Some people go, hooray! Some people go, boo! But you can't argue. The woman is a billionaire, very successful. She's been in catering for many years, but her whole housewife, catering, cook, chef, expert persona only came around in her 40s. She got TV, and she was at the right position to be able to establish herself, and also disciplined enough to be able to make sure that she got what she wanted out of it and became a multi-billionairess. I don't think it matters at that level, you're just billionaire. And she managed to create that success because she was so good at doing it. Next on the list, who's this? Ronald Reagan. I can't do the impersonation, I wouldn't do. Forget about the politics, think about the success. Ronald Reagan only got into politics in his 50s. Before that, he was an actor. Good, bad, you choose. Been around for a very long time. But all those acting skills came into play when he became one of the most famous presidents of all time. And time will tell whether he's one of the most successful presidents of all time. He won the Cold War, let's face it. but you choose your own politics. But you can't argue with the fact that he ripened with age, and he wouldn't have been anything like the president that he was. Whether that was good or bad is up to you. But just think about the persona. Only came because of the fact he'd been around for a very long time, and he managed to get to that level of success. Next up, recognize this fella? No, that is Ford. Is it Henry Ford? Henry T. Ford? I'm trying to remember. Gerald Ford, there's quite a few. Anyway, this is the guy who invented Ford cars. He was about 43, 44, something like that, when he first started making the Model T. Again in his 40s. Until then, he wouldn't have been able to get around to doing it. Just didn't have enough clout, didn't have the finances, and didn't have a battle plan to be able to move forward with it. This guy you might recognize as well. Abraham Lincoln. He'd been in and out of politics a couple of times. In fact, he went back into it, and he was in, I think it was 47 when he decided to return back to it, and then decided to get back in, and then 8 years later became the president. So it just goes to prove to you that you will ripen with age, and there's no set age when you should actually get around to doing it. I shouldn't have my jacket on now, but I'm scared of taking it off in case I look really sweaty. I should have thought about that. It's really hot outside. I'll show you a couple more. Do you recognize this guy? No? No? Hold on, let me take my jacket off. Stay with me just a second. Let me take my jacket off. Keep talking amongst yourselves. Right. That's better. I apologise for the sweaty head. Right back again. Okay, hopefully there's not too many patches. Just ignore them. Just pretend I've been in a shower. Alright, this guy here. You recognise the LinkedIn logo? Reid Hoffman. 43 years old. Now you think about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg and all the new sort of startup online ventures, and you certainly think about the fact that you've got to be a superstar to be able to get these to happen, and a young superstar. He's not young, 43, and quite fat. Doesn't make any difference. He held back, he worked in his process, and when he launched it, became an instant billionaire. So it just goes to show you that LinkedIn, or whatever it is you've been hatching for a long time, it may well have legs. So stop worrying about what people are going to think about it and start thinking about when is the right time. Right time is now. And your age is not anything that's going to hold you back. Got a couple more of these to go. Right, okay, who's that? It's probably in reverse, actually, isn't it? There we go. Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's. Now, I'll talk about McDonald's in more depth at a later date. Ray Kroc was 53 when he launched McDonald's. He actually bought it out from the McDonald's brothers. Do you know that... Oh, I'll just tell you anyway. McDonald's is one of the most profitable companies on the planet, not because of its burgers. Do you know what it is? It's one of the biggest real estate companies in the world. Their business model is phenomenal. I'll go through it more in a later date, but think about it. The best real estate on the planet already has McDonald's in it. They own all the best properties. Not about the burgers, even though you like eating them. Okay, 53, Ray Kroc. Next up, one of my heroes, Alan Rickman. Remember Severus Snape from Harry Potter? Genius actor, fantastic. Died far too young, I've got to admit. But remember his breakout role? Playing Hans Gruber in Die Hard. In his 40s. That's when the world first started taking notice of him. Hans Gruber, fantastic. Alan Rickman, okay, did well on stage for many years, but he never got his big break until his 40s. Couple more to go. This guy, Sam Walton, creator of Walmart, that billion-dollar company responsible for people dressing really badly or looking after bargains all around the world. Probably one of the world's biggest supermarket chains, created by this guy, and he was in his 50s. Actually, no, I think he was like 44 when he launched it. And it went to bigger and better. Of course, you don't launch a billionaire company very often. You have to build it from the ground upwards. But he'd done all the research and all the groundwork and had a fantastic business model all set. I'll spend some more time with these characters in the future and show you their business model so you can experience them a little bit better. And last but not least, this guy. No, it's not my dad, even though he does look a lot like that. Colonel Sanders, Colonel Harlan Sanders, the creator of the KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. And you might not be a fan of the chicken, you might not even admit to eating it, but the guy was 65 when he decided that he was going to go around. He took all his social services checks and he put them into trying to launch his business of his secret recipe. I should never do that, I hate it when people do that. Let's put my iPad down. His secret recipe was the only thing he had. He went to a number of chicken shops and said, look, this is what I have, it's a really good idea. And everyone said no. I mean, literally, It goes down to about 1,000 different places he approached with his special recipe, and nobody was interested. They said, we've already got chicken, what's yours? What makes yours so special? And he said, the secret recipe. And they went, don't do martial arts in front of us, you weird little old man. It probably didn't say that. I don't think he did martial arts at 65. But he carried on until somebody agreed to do a partnership on the menu, and the rest is history. Now here's my point again. However old you're feeling, remember, the older you get, the more smart you get. You've got to do a number of different things. You've got to stay fit, you've got to make sure you work on your brain, and you've got to make sure you've got that business idea. But you've got all this time now to put into experience, to find the right partnerships, and also to look for the right opportunity to launch your new venture or your new business. Now, I'm just showing you the top of the pyramid there. These are all guys that are multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires, but further on down the pyramid, take it a little bit further down to about there, or wherever you want it on the triangle, you could be about here. Even getting to here could be amazing successes, which never have to be financial. They just have to be things that make you happy, to let you know that you've done something with your life and you should be proud of what you've managed to do. So that's it, a very quick one, because I heard so many people talking about, I'm really old, and look at the new generation, and blah, blah, blah. Forget it. You're at the optimized age to create success. If KFC can be created by Colonel Sanders at the age of 65, then you can keep going till you're 100 years old, and you can have... Well, just don't do dirty videos. That'd be gross. Anything else will make you super successful. That's it for me. Be a big hitter. Chill out. Take your time. You are at the right time in your age to create the success that you really want. Let me know how you think, let me know how you feel, leave some comments and I'll address them, and I'll have some free gifts for you for maybe tomorrow's broadcast, and I'll be doing that somewhere else I think, maybe not rushing to the house to feed my dog, which is what I'm going to do right now. So as I feed the dog, you chill out, have a think about it and smile, because you are the right age and it will be a super success. That's it from me, I'm going to go back to work. Bye bye, bye bye.